Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the Court of the Digester. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever the hell you are. Right? Okay, hope you're all right. Hope you're all well and still, soldiering on as we do. This is a weird one, right? This is just weird. We like a bit of weirdness, and this is certainly weird. Now, those of you in the know will have already heard about the idea that there's this thing called the blob in Whitehall, right? Which is civil servants that won't do as they're bloody told, right? I've no doubt they exist. None whatsoever. No doubt they exist. In all my time working with them, the vast majority were fantastic people, but they've allowed the 5% of, psychopathic lunatics, schizophrenic nutters, or whatever the hell they are, because there's certainly something. Cluster B, want to go there? Narcissists, yeah, Machiavellian, sadists, right? So they've allowed a group of nutters to take over the civil service. And I think this adds fuel to the fire, though there could be a number of reasons why what has occurred. So subscribe, become a warrior teacher, buy me a coffee if you can, the end of the month is coming. Always scary. Buy me a coffee, that's it. Become a Jesterite. Other than that, here we go. From the Telegraph. Civil servants temporarily deleted clause barring teachers from pushing political views. I must admit when I read it, I had to do a double take. I've got the sniffs again. I've got a cold coming. Right, so civil servants temporarily deleted clause barring teachers from pushing political views. Go on, tell me in the comments, what's that about? The Department for Education temporarily removed a ban on political indoctrination in schools from the government's Model Academy funding agreement in 2020. The contract between schools and the DFE are used to set out the framework in which academies and free schools can operate. Well, that's standard stuff, isn't it, folks? Right, here's what you're going to do. You're going to do it on behalf of the public. Therefore, you're going to operate in this way. So you've had the contract with all the stuff on, right? This is fairly straightforward bureaucratic practice, okay? The removal of the clause meant some academies, according to their funding agreements, could be interpreted to be exempt from the political balance requirements of the Education Act 1966, according to legal experts. The clause was reinstated in early 2021 after political advisors to Nadhim Zahawi, the then Education Secretary, were alerted to its removal. Bryn Harris, the chief legal counsel at the Free Speech Union, said, "Academy funding agreements are where schools go to understand what their obligations are. There's a real risk that absent a clear employment agreement, academy schools may actually not know their legal obligation regarding impartiality. It's not just that it leaves the academy not knowing what their duties are. It may also complicate enforcing those duties with the relevant regulator." You can't enforce something if they haven't signed up for it, can you? So they could be quite happily in their academy schools going, there's no such thing as sex, gender identity is where it's at, everybody's a racist, the world's going to end. Yeah, there's a new asteroid called Grunty Thunder Thighs that's heading for Earth. They could tell them anything. They could tell the kids anything. And the teachers could have any political bent you want. Right, come on in, comrades. Which is the most likely one, let's be honest, eh? Right, now repeat after me, children. Mau, mau, mau. Mau, 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 mau. Right, so they could do whatever the hell they want without this clause. You get it? Right. What? How did this happen? Right. Analysis of 14 academy school funding agreements by the Free Speech Union in 2021 found that 7 did not have anti-indoctrination clauses. Who took it out? It comes as schools have been accused of teaching impartiality rules, breaching impartiality rules by teaching critical race theory and radical gender ideology. It's queer theory or, the usual things, right? A report by Don't Divide Us, a campaign group challenging the idea that Britain is systemically racist, claimed earlier this year that pupils in England are being taught contested political beliefs related to controversial racial ideology as fact. Of 49 third-party organisations providing teacher training or resources to schools, 48 were promoting contested political beliefs around race theory as fact. Get your head of 49 third-party organisations, i.e. organisations brought in by the school. Can you come and do our EDI? Yeah, we'll come in. We're all fluffy and we're all smiles and we're all nice. And what do? They come in and they've been teaching critical race theory as fact. They're racists then. So they've invited racists into these schools to teach the kids. Yeah, come on in. Nice sheets. Come on. Which flavour of racist are you today? Okay. Oh, marching. Good. Right. Okay. Mow, mow, mow. That's what they've been doing. 48 of them. 49. For the love of God. Where's the government? They're telling your kids the world's full of racists. They're telling your kids untruth. They are lying to your children. External bodies. This is easy to solve, by the way. Okay? With immediate effect across schools, says the DfE. No external provider will be utilised in any fashion to teach any part of the curriculum. End of story. Teachers can then do what teachers do best. Design their own stuff and teach it according to the framework that's provided by the government, which is us, the people, right? Ban external providers, full stop, from all schools. Right across the board. Right across the board. That's what I'd do. If they're paying them, they can pay the teachers more to do it. Now, whatever the reason that this 49 bunch of folk got into it, I don't know. I don't really know. But Arabella Skinner of the Parents Campaign group Us For Them said, it is deeply worrying that this important clause about political impartiality was removed from the funding agreement. Whatever the reason, lack of attention to detail or deliberate exclusion, I'm going with the latter, neither look good for the DfE. It is essential that all our children are taught an education free from political bias, that parents have access to the teaching, and that head teachers have clarity and support on their responsibilities. A government spokesman said, all schools, regardless of type or funding agreement, are legally required to be politically impartial in their teaching. As an additional layer of reassurance, political impartiality clauses are included in academy funding agreements. An administrative error for a brief period led to the model funding agreement missing this clause, but no schools operated without the impartiality clause in place, and the error was corrected as soon as it was discovered. So there's the document. I got to do this from that point of view because I write a lot. Because I teach, for God's sake, and I've got programs to write for the warrior teachers. So I'm always doing stuff, right? Okay, now I go through it again. I go through it again. I go through it again. Before I teach, I go through it again. Even though I've taught it before, I will then go back to it and go through it again, right? Because you need to see with different eyes, and time can help you have those. So I do that, right? In order to make sure that what I'm doing is correct. So what they're saying is that in a legal document between the government, i.e. the people, and these schools that are teaching their children, that an administrative error occurred in one small section that completely removed the need for the warning against no indoctrination. An administrative error, right, is when you send it out and in there somewhere is a word wrong, right? So, make sure that the kids get their shots when they're young. It might be that. It could be, but instead it says make sure the kids get the shits when they're young. Right? That's an administrative error, isn't it? Is it me, or is that not an administrative error? This isn't an administrative error. An entire passage deleted that would have had bullets, right? That would have had numbering, that would have had formatting, and it sits there. So you ask yourself the question, using the marvellous Occam's razor. Is it that somebody has managed to, in some strange way, select the necessary bits, delete them, not recognise the problems with the remaining text? Or is it that somebody just deleted it because they wanted to? When all is said and done, the simplest is probably the truth. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.